In this video today, I am going to talk to you about how to reduce sugar cravings. I'm Angela and I am the cravings crushing coach. I help my clients to conquer their cravings so they can achieve their weight loss goals and get the health that they want. Now, I know a lot about sugar cravings, so I have had a lot of experience with failing at reducing sugar cravings, and now I'm on the other side and I can have it every once in a while and when I choose, and most of the time I just don't eat sugar. So how did I get here? Well, I will tell you the number one thing that worked for me was really understanding what sugar was doing to my body. So I know that we all are aware that sugar isn't good for us, but I got down into the details about how sugar was affecting me personally, and I got really clear on how bad I wanted those things to improve, and that made it so much easier. So today, I'm going to talk to you about a few of the things that are caused by eating too much sugar, so that you can get very clear about what is happening in your body, specifically, something that might ring really true for you. A few of the obvious ones are diabetes and prediabetes, being overweight and obesity. Most of the time, those are have some connection to eating too much sugar, or even processed carbs, which our body treats as sugar. It becomes sugar so quickly in our body. We used to think that if we ate a whole wheat bread, that was complex carbohydrate. That's what we would call it. And we thought that it took longer for that to break down. But as it turns out, because it's so highly processed, that isn't the case at all. It very quickly spikes your blood sugar, just like refined sugar, exactly like refined sugar. Now, some of the other issues that can be related to having too much sugar are skin problems like rashes. Acne is often related to having sugar in the diet. Having arthritis, joint pain is really a lot of times. I've known people that when they cut sugar out of their diet, they immediately, or within a day or two, like really quickly, they improved their pain, got better. So any kind of pain that you might be having, also breathing issues. It can be related because of the inflammation that happens in the airways whenever you cut the sugar out. That can get better. And gut health. And gut health is related to the whole body, and it can also just be really uncomfortable. So that was one of my problems, was just having bloating and gassiness and just all the embarrassing stuff. There were other things I also had to do, but sugar was definitely part of it because it feeds the bad bacteria. So whenever we're feeding all those bad bacteria, and they're doing all the things that they do, they make a lot of gas. They create a lot of issues in the gut that none of us want, right? So you can be wasting a lot of money on probiotics if you're eating sugar. And there's another really good motivation to quit eating sugar or reduce the sugar intake, and that is if you are spending money on supplements, you could be just throwing money down the drain if your gut isn't in good health. And another thing you may not be aware of is that heart disease can be related to eating sugar and refined carbohydrates like breads and crackers and cereal, those processed grains. that is more of an issue when it comes to the buildup in the arteries than the fats. All right, so especially if you're eating healthier fats like nuts and seeds and avocado and those kind of healthier choices, those kind of fats don't cause problems with your arteries. And even to a lesser degree than sugar and wheat, the butter is and those kind of fats, beef and those things are less of a problem than sugar and wheat. So you really want to be focusing on those foods, reducing your sugar cravings and intake of those foods if you have heart disease in your family. Also, Alzheimer's is related to having too many refined carbohydrates in the diet, too much sugar. People who have Alzheimer's are able to improve by going on a very low carb diet, doing intermittent fasting. That actually can help reverse it. But before you even get there, if you're not eating a lot of sugar, if you have Alzheimer's in your family, it would be really smart to eat less sugar. All right. And then also cancer. Cancer is fed by sugar. It grows better in that environment. So there's another reason to eat less sugar, less refined carbohydrates. Okay, so when I say sugar, let's just lump it all together, okay, because it acts the same in your body. Your body doesn't really see the difference at the cellular level. And also energy. So a lot of times we will eat these foods because we want to boost our energy, but you know that just a couple of hours later, you're going to have that slump and you're going to feel drained. So you will have a much more consistent, even energy level throughout the day if you reduce your sugar. So those are just some of the reasons why cutting back sugar will help your body. So what is it for you? What do you know is happening in your body that can be improved by cutting back on sugar? Once you know that, once you know what it is that you want to improve, what you know is going to get better by not eating the sugar, if it's something that's already happening in your body right now, you can eliminate the sugar for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. Sometimes seeing that, like seeing is believing, right? So like seeing what's happening in your body is super motivating to keep it that way. I have seen that happen many times. Whenever somebody sees how much better they feel whenever they stop eating a certain food, they don't want it back because they like how they feel. Now, some of those longer term kind of issues are going to be a little trickier to be as motivating because that's just how we are as humans. We want something right now, and we are a little bit willing to suffer consequences in those moments, especially when we have a craving. So we need to talk about that. So for that, you're going to want to schedule and plan for your sugar or whatever it is. So I don't recommend that you completely eliminate sugar immediately. I always tell people to take it so slowly. Be gradual about it. You don't have to go from eating sugar breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever, to no sugar at all, or eating a big old bowl of ice cream every day, to none at all. But you can have smaller and smaller amounts. You can choose to eat your treat, whatever it is, a couple of times a week, or whatever is a scale back that you feel about 90% sure that you can do it. All right. I'd say 100%, but there are those times. There are those times that are just, we just have such a strong craving. And when we're not used to being really diligent about our diet, it is a process to get to that point where you're just really, you do what you said you were going to do. And that's where you will get, that's what you will aim for, is not to not eat it at all, but to just do what you said you were going to do when you were thinking clearly. So when you're having a craving, you're not quite thinking clearly. You're thinking about what you want right now. It's kind of, I like to think about it as a child, as a toddler. When a toddler wants something now, it's that kind of a feeling that I get when I have a craving. It's like, I don't care, I want it. Like, don't tell me no, right? So in my mind, somebody else can tell me no and I'll be like, all right, but I don't want to tell me no in that moment. But if I have made a decision, if I have said to myself, I am not going to eat any chocolate today. That's my thing. So chocolate. If I have made that decision and I have said when I would have it, not just, I'm not eating dark chocolate, but I am deciding, I'll have dark chocolate, Friday afternoon or whatever, then I know I have something to look forward to, and I'm not going to do it right now because that was my decision and I stick to my decisions. Now, if you don't stick with your decisions, if that's not something that you're used to doing, that's something that you really want to work on, okay? Because it affects all areas of your life and not just in your diet. So I'm going to suggest that you look down in the description and set up a consultation with me, because that's how I help people. I help them to do what they say they're going to do in whatever area of their life. And like I said, even if it is just in your diet, you would be surprised at all the other areas that it is affecting, and that will improve when you start having your own back when it comes to your diet. Other areas of your life will improve as well. Now, one more thing that will help to reduce those sugar cravings is to reduce the amount of refined carbohydrates that you're eating. All of those breads and cereals and crackers, pretzels, all those kind of foods that create that same response, you need to reduce those slowly over time, just like reducing the sugar. I would never recommend that you cut them out completely, because your body will have a craving like never before, and that's what leads to binges. So just having this easy, gradual decline of what you are used to consuming, and just making that decision each day of how much you're going to have, which is less than you had maybe the week before. I wouldn't say, daily, but just, like I said, gradually. Let's do it gradually, because your body is getting a dopamine hit, and that dopamine response causes you to feel good. And so the brain says, I want more of that. So that's why we want to reduce those foods and the sugar, because they will continue to perpetuate the cravings. So just reducing it all slowly will help you to have less cravings. Another little bonus that I will throw in there is an amino acid that can help with sugar cravings, and that is L-glutamine. And so if you take a powder of L-glutamine. 1,000 milligrams is the usual. You could start with 500 milligrams at a time. It's between meals. I usually would recommend that you take it about a half an hour or so before your next meal, and that's going to reduce your cravings later. You can also take it a couple hours after dinner if you have those evening kind of cravings, sugar cravings. So that is a pro tip, little tip that can really be quick and help you get over this time of reducing the amount of sugar and refined carbohydrates. So there you have it. First, you want to know why. Why are you doing this? Why is it so important to you? What's happening in your body if you do eat sugar? What will happen for you when you don't? How much better will you feel? Number 2, be gradual about it. Don't try to do this all overnight. Number 3, you can have those treats. Just plan it out and have your own back on those times whenever you have a craving and you want it. Know that yes, you can have it later, but not right now. I have it planned at this time later. That's when I can have it. And you know what happened to me is after a while, that time came and I was like, I'm really not excited about it. And I didn't want to eat it if I wasn't going to enjoy it. Actually, that's another really important tip is make sure that you enjoy it when you do. Make sure that you will enjoy it. Like you're in an atmosphere that you're going to be able to enjoy it and you're not just going to shovel it down. That way you can stop whenever it's not pleasurable anymore, because that's the reason you want to eat it. It isn't just to eat it, it's because you want to enjoy it. And then number 4 was to, you can use L-glutamine during that transition time. I will link a good option for you to check out and see if that might be something you want to try. All right, so thanks for watching, and I invite you to subscribe to this channel so that you get more tips on cravings, crushing, because that is what I love to talk about. And make sure that you click the bell to get those notifications every time a new video comes out. And I will see you again next week. Bye for now.